Are we on TV? Are we on? Hello, this is Community Talk Live. Yes, a live television show. We bring the show to you every week from the SCC studio here in White Bear Lake. And we do the best we can to get ready, to get set, started well. And we're having two technical people in here. We need them today. You are going to see a very interesting show of a theater that I have been part of, doing shows and going to some of the plays. Actually, the first play I went to, I think, was 1990. It was The Merchant of Venice. That was the first play I saw. And I think they do the same kind of... I remember that there was this one guy, I like to do unusual things, talk to people. So you know what they did back then, maybe do the same thing now. As they were going, there's a whole bunch of different actors and actresses of this play, and probably other plays. And they were waiting right in the audience for their cue to go into the play, and then they walk into there. So I was just having a conversation with them, what the heck, fooling around and stuff like that. And people were bringing their food and, dinners and everything. It's in the evening, by the way. Can you still do that?
Yeah.
Bringing lunches.
Absolutely.
Very relaxed atmosphere. I understand from George Wade, he was the originator. We had him on in 1998. I think he died a little bit after that. So the last year he lived, we did get him on. That's the way Shakespeare did it. I mean, that they had a very relaxed atmosphere at that time. I guess the Globe Theater was the main theater that they played. They did play outdoor theaters like this. So we're simply reenacting what occurred basically about, 500 years ago. In fact, exactly 500, like the late 1400s, early 1500s when Shakespeare was available. And they have wonderful plays. Shakespeare Theater has been doing this for over 20 years. And you can see they're very colorful. All these things you see above here, in front here, and that, we're getting into that. They brought, all these people brought us for a very fun, interesting set, what we have right now. And this show is being recorded, I take it. We're recording this. We're going to replay this because we really love to replay. So you people who don't have the opportunity can see it later on. And this is just a fun, wonderful half hour you're going to be part of. So stay tuned. All of these are experienced actors and actresses. I had Tim on last year. Aaron's been here. Brianna's been here. These are now, for being on shows, their experience. This is going to be a wonderful show you're going to see. Shakespeare and Company. So let me introduce these people, and you could also then describe a little about yourself. Tim?
My name is Tim Perfect. This is my 18th season with Shakespeare and Company.
Wow.
I'm performing in one of the shows this summer, The Learned Ladies, playing the role of Chrysal, which is the father. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So you knew George Wade then, right?
I did.
And George Wrestler. Stu?
Yep.
Stu was on our show many times. He was the guy we had the sword fight, the only guy we had a sword fight on. And we try to do fun stuff with Stu. Stu's a character. He's not out of it. I think he's doing racing or something like that. He was on for many years. These are fun people around here. Aaron.
Brianna,
I'm sorry.
Brianna Skronik. I'm one of the stage managers. I'm doing two of the shows this summer.
And they are?
I'm doing Midsummer Night's Dream and The Tempest. And then, I've been out there my whole life, though. So I was basically born out there. My dad is George Wrestler, who is the artistic director.
Oh, really? We've had you on before then. Probably about 8 or 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a couple.
Cool.
And then I've been stage managing out there, I want to say close to 7 seasons.
Are you stage manager for other theaters too?
Yeah, I have done some other local theater.
What are they?
Theater in the Round is one of the most recent.
Okay.
There was a company called Shadow Play that Tim was also part of.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is kind of my home. I like doing this
you like
most.
Shakespeare. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Aaron.
Yep, I am Aaron. I guess this is my 5th year in the company. So I've been doing it for a little while now. I've done probably 12 or so shows out there. This year I am playing Puck in Midsummer.
Cool.
And then, then I am playing a part in Learned Ladies as well, Martine, who's kind of like a like a kitchen wench, maybe you could call her.
Interesting.
So this is my costume back here. Which
Okay.
when you pan out wider, you'll be able to see it in more detail. But so super fun parts this year for me.
Wow,
I'm very excited.
great. And Taylor, I want you to tell us about yourself.
This is my rookie season with Shakespeare and Company.
Okay.
And I'm doing all 3 shows with them.
Okay.
So I've got Demetrius in Midsummer Night's Dream, Caliban in The Tempest, and then Tricitan in The Learned Ladies.
Ah, very interesting. Ron, can you come out here, please? We're going to a little focus on the interesting stuff. Since you mentioned that, obviously, Erin is sort of a maybe a little bit extra person right here. Have a close-up, middle camera, right in front here, okay, on what we have in front here, the little poster we have here. And we're going to show that right now. And here we go. Ah, yes, there we go. Put it down. There you go. And look how colorful that is. Down there, and there she is.
That's my face.
Ah, yes, Midsummer Night's. And who's the guy on the left?
That's Austin Petershik. He that picture is actually from last year's season. That's
Okay.
Hamlet.
Okay.
He played Hamlet in that, and I played Horatio. So
okay.
that is when we're both petrified of seeing Hamlet's father's ghost.
Pull it out a little more. There you are. That's a real schedule. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Gosh, who did that? That's a really wonderful
Tim
description.
actually took that picture.
I
took the
actually took the
picture.
photo. Yeah.
Oh.
Poster.
And,
Look at that.
Yep, Bria made
all
the.
the family.
And there's a
that
tempest.
poster.
Did it have the learner?
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, Ron.
Down
now,
at the bottom
Oh, down at the bottom.
yeah, down at the bottom.
down
Expand it
below
out
it.
more, a little bit more, Ron. More. There you go. And the learned
There you
ladies.
go.
Okay, very interesting. And look at the interesting. Is that how they wrote at the top there? Oh, you see it kind of fancy.
Font.
It's an old
Oh, it's just an
style
old font
Yeah,
kind
kinda
of
like
thing
an
that
old
you
English.
fold around there. Let's have a little more fun. Up to the top of the table here. Top of the table. And focus it in. We're going to focus that in. And I think Erin probably will tell you about most. I'm not sure. Or maybe.
Well, here we can start at the bottom here.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
So
This is
this
fascinating.
right here.
Now look at this here. No, not not her shoes, Ron.
Here, what if
I know you like shoes. We did well to dress, but we're actually going to focus on this. There we go.
Here, we'll
All
put
right.
this
Now
one.
leave
There
it
we go.
right there. He's got it.
There we go.
Okay.
So this is one of the wigs from Learned Ladies. It is not my wig from Learned Ladies, but
Okay.
kind of the premise of Learned Ladies is that there are these 3 women who are very into literature, into culture, into learning as much as they can, hence the title. So they're very studious people, and it's also a very outlandish show. It's Moliere, and he deals a lot with commedia, stock characters, big, broad comedy.
Okay.
And so the wigs are something that we made. Emily Haney made the costumes for
Right.
this show, and she built a lot of them, which means she sewed a lot of them specifically for us. And then she made wigs like this, and so all of the wigs have different little trinkets in it. This one belongs to one of Tim's daughters in the show,
Wow.
who is very studious.
Okay.
So it's got books in the wig.
Yeah, that's interesting
Which is
about the
kind of
books.
goofy.
What are they? Are they?
They're just little books. I don't think they have any specific
Meaning.
significance,
Oh,
no, other than
okay.
they fit in the wig. So that's.
I
what
thought they
were
might
there.
be historical books that have been around for 500 years that Shakespeare personally wrote.
No, they
No,
just look
but you
old.
never know, huh?
They just
Gave
look
that
old
a
with their
try. It
props.
didn't work. Well, why
So
not?
that's one of the things. All of us in the show have got these goofy.
Now, are these from the Learned Ladies too?
No. So we brought something.
I'll
from
tell you what.
each show.
Have a little more fun. Bring this up here.
Sure.
Let's go back on the thing on Learned Ladies, Ryan. And we can just focus in this way. That's sort of cool. On the Learned Lady one, while you're looking at this here, Ron, only on this, only on the Learned Lady. Focus in totally on the Learned Lady. Okay, that's good. Good. Leave it right there. Now, this is the main thing. Tell us what Learned Ladies, the premise of all about the show.
Sure. Tim, do you want to take that one? I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Well, you kind of already started.
Yeah.
Keep the
there's
focus, Ron.
The learned ladies of the show are my wife and my daughters, who basically want to get as much knowledge as they can. They feel like they're more important the more they know.
So
And
you're the
they're-
man of the show, basically.
I'm the husband, the father, and nobody likes me. None of them like me. They're
because
I like
you're
it.
not
I
you're
don't
not
buy-
super
I don't buy
intellectual.
any of this stuff,
You're not
you know.
super intellectual
Yeah.
or that kind of thing. No.
But they're bringing in all of these poets and
Yeah.
people who, they say they're very smart and they're learned, but they really don't know. And Taylor happens to be one of the poets that they bring
Instigator of
in.
it all.
Well, Taylor, what about? So you're the smart guy, but be careful here.
I wouldn't say smart guy.
Yeah, the poet. I better.
My goal is to try and fool everyone that I'm smarter than them, I think.
Okay.
So these three women really dote upon my character and really just love his poetry and his learnedness, I suppose. And
What do you write about? Is it about like government or about
love?
Okay, that's one thing. Yeah,
Love
relationships,
love
things
and
like
women, and the mother wants me to marry their youngest daughter.
Yes.
Youngest daughter,
Who's not quite as learned.
who's not quite as learned, in hopes that I may,
Impart wisdom.
impart some wisdom on her. But she wishes to marry another man. So there
a
lies
little love
the
relationship.
conflict.
Ron, back to here. No, Ron, let's focus in on that. Switch into this. Yep, this one. Okay, focus back down into that, onto there. Stop. That's good. Now, tell well, you can do it, Taylor. The three learned ladies, what are their names? Or
The learned ladies.
Yep, and the learned ladies.
We have Filament,
Okay.
who is the mother.
She sounds like a pretty woman, Filament, but a little bit cultured, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. I got it.
And then we
Good
have Armand, who's
That's
wig we
Armand you're
have
looking at
there.
right here.
And then Henriette.
Henriette?
Is the daughter.
Is that an English name? It doesn't sound English.
French.
French?
French, I got that right.
Moliere
Let's
is French.
focus on this totally, right. Ron? Focus it on more, total. I want to fill a picture. Okay. So these three learned ladies, and this one right here, that you're seeing, is, which one is it? It's
Armand. Is
Armand. Okay, focus it on this one. So they're saying in this show, and they're constantly like honoring you, or they're constantly like trying to just listen to your poets, or how are they projecting that learning poetry is being smart or something like that? Are they saying, oh, now I can learn this? Or, I mean, it's just like
It's fully in the way I think they carry themselves and
Yeah.
just their dialogue.
Uh-huh.
Their dialogue is written very cleverly so that they sound like they're, much smarter than they are. They use gigantic words and they,
I fancy words.
But
Sure.
they also walk around with this air of I'm better than you as well. So
The way they present themselves and smarter. And do you like that in the show? Your character, does they like the?
Absolutely. He loves the attention.
No doubt. I mean, hey, it's filling up his ego, and what the heck? Have a good time, right?
Well, and then as the story goes on, you kind of discover that his intentions are a little less than pure. That he's trying to essentially play these women to get himself into the family, as it were.
I thought I was trying to get them into bed with you, huh?
Well,
It might go that way too,
Some of that as well.
But you're sort of working with sort of a
There's some
political
financial
situation.
gains.
Yep,
Yeah.
financial gain to
Sure.
try to work it in
But
that.
Tim's character is on to me,
Yeah,
as it were.
Oh, you can read this guy 100%. Huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
He's, my character, Crisale, really is on the side of his younger daughter, who is kind of not into all of this learning and, air quotes. But she's in love with, as Taylor said, another man, Clatandra.
Yeah.
And so I want him to be married to my daughter, and my wife wants Tricitan to be married to my younger daughter.
Because your wife
So
is
that's that.
learned. She's a learned lady, and naturally she wants the poet.
She's trying to be, yes.
She's trying to be a learned
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
But you say this is sort of a, like intellectual beyond your intelligence. You hear all the, I mean, that's what you used to say in college.
They're saying-
You're intellectual beyond your intelligence.
Right.
Just this
Saying
like,
that philosophy and learning
Yeah,
and
and
poetry, all these things are supersede everything else in life. Nothing else
right.
in life matters except for these lofty pursuits.
It's sort of like an obsession, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
That's how it was. Now, how would you turn this play? Is it like a drama or just a?
it's a big, broad comedy.
Definitely a comedy.
There's a lot of jokes in it, huh? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Monier did this, and the question I have for you is that in this play, I think it's been the last 7 or 8 years, I think that Shakespeare has always done a Monier play. And I'm about right, maybe a little bit off on that, but Moliere was in the 1500s too, about the time period of Shakespeare, and correct?
Yeah, it was definitely a contemporary
Right.
of Shakespeare.
And he was Italian?
French.
French. Okay, he was French. Yeah, Moliere. Right, that sounds French. There's got to be other hundreds of playwrights at that time that wrote plays, probably like Shakespeare, and they have to be for some reason. It must be good, but for some reason, the Shakespeare Company always likes to choose Moliere as the other of another playwright. Why?
Bree?
He's entertaining.
your father's
He's
the
hilarious.
artistic
It's funny.
director.
And the audience seems to like it. They can follow along with his stories. Like I said, they're extremely funny.
He
I think-
only does comedies?
Well, for the most part, yeah, he does comedies about class and comedies about commedia dell'arte is something that he really focuses on, and commedia is an art style or a theater style which focuses on stock characters, right? So
Okay.
you've always got the bumbling father, you've always got the sweet innocent daughter, you've always got the love interest, you've
Right.
always, you know, you've got the grandma, the grandpa, all
Yeah.
of these different characters are always represented. And Moliere just, he tells his stories, I think, more clearly and more effectively than other playwrights of his time. So we've done other shows out there that have not been Moliere, but the plots are always a little bit more meandering. There's always a few more periphery characters that just kind of muddle things up. They always tend to be a little bit longer,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
Moliere just kind of really honed in on the art form, much like Shakespeare did. And so
I think Moliere, more so than other playwrights of Shakespeare's time, he wasn't just writing a comedy just to write a funny play. A
Right.
lot of his stuff was very edgy because he was making fun of the aristocracy at the time. You know, so it was like they would come and see this play, which is like lampooning them. You know,
Yeah.
because that's what high society was all about. All of these things, and he was basically showing them how dumb they all were.
Did Shakespeare do this too? A lot, and some of his plays, not all of them, but sort of made fun of him. So he's what I'm getting to is you're saying that Moliere is sort of up to the level of, which very few people are, of the writing of Shakespeare plays. He's basically go to Shakespeare and the other ones aren't, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
in your opinion.
like
Yep.
I said, I think personally, I think their contemporaries are
Yep.
completely different writers and writing about different things and in different styles, different languages even.
Of course, he's
You know?
French. And
Yeah, he
Shakespeare.
wrote everything in French. So
Was he very successful like Shakespeare at that time?
yeah, I believe so.
Was he considered to be, as great as Shakespeare, or just you're not sure? He's good.
probably not in his time,
Yeah.
I don't think. I know
Okay.
that he struggled for a little bit early on because he was a discouraged actor, which is why he kind of turned to writing. But towards the end of his career, I think he had some success that he saw.
Shakespeare actually was a good actor, apparently, and very good for many years. Quickly, behind you. Okay, leave a shot on. Now, describe this, since this is
sure.
your thing.
Yeah, so I brought several different pieces of my costume kind of strewn around
Okay.
the stage, just more so to show you, because we do outdoor theater.
Yeah.
It can be hot, it can be muggy, it can be rainy, it can be all different sorts of elements you're playing up against. You're playing up against bugs, other animals,
Right.
planes, whatever. But the biggest thing, and something that I think, maybe the audience thinks about but doesn't really understand, is we've got layers on in all of our shows.
Yeah,
Guys
because
and girls alike.
they have the
It's-
old clothes they had in the 1500s. They wear those same kind of clothes.
Yep, sometimes. Sometimes we update things and make them a bit more contemporary.
But this year was mainly
both Tempest and
Midsummer.
Learned Ladies. Midsummer's a little bit lighter, but it's still fairly warm. But Tempest
But
and
I mean, in
Learned
Summer
Ladies
Streams,
for
the
sure.
clothes like they were 500 years ago.
We set Midsummer actually in the 20s this year, so we've
Oh,
got-
I would prefer the old fashioned. Oh, well.
you gotta
So,
try
eh,
something
okay,
new. But
so this-
anyway, these are the different layers of my costume, I guess.
This one costume.
So I have tights that I put on, and I wear pretty
Right.
high heels in the show as well. But then I've got this big skirt that's made of tulle. That's what you call this. That puffs the skirt out. I've got this underskirt here, which cinches right at the waist. But before I even put the underskirt on, I have to put this corset on, and that corset's got boning on it, so it makes me
okay.
stay up straight, very upright, and it cinches you in, so you don't have much room to breathe.
They had corsets back
it's a
then.
little
huh? Yeah, they
clasp.
done. Okay.
Yep, and it's got clasps on it and everything,
Cool.
so you just
Wow.
you get sucked into it, and then you've got the skirt that you put on, which is fairly heavy, and then this overlay. which, you know, I'm lucky in that I have short sleeves for this and it doesn't go all the way to the floor, but it's still a very warm costume that's several layers. And this laces up the back as well. And so you're cinched in not only with the corset, but also with the top, the bodice.
And this is?
And this is from Midsummer, so this is my headpiece for
I'll
Puck.
put on, I like Midsummer Night's Dream, so I have a little fun here.
That's my
Ah,
headpiece
yes.
for Puck.
Hey, now I look pretty good, don't I?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So I run around stage the entire show with that balancing
Okay.
on my
Get a
head.
close-up shot on that on me. Hey, there you go. Hey, all right, yeah.
Yep, good shade.
And what's this? And this is what? Oh,
That is
That's-
from the Tempest.
Yeah.
You wanna
Oh,
talk
okay.
about
That's
that?
the mask,
do that?
and my dad's
no,
had
I'm not
that
gonna do that.
probably for
Oh,
decades,
okay.
Yeah.
I would say. But it's from one of the famous scenes that has the harpies in it. And Ariel wears that as she's attacking.
Let's put the letters on. I'm sorry. Let's put the letters on the screen here for the last. Okay, we'll leave them on here. So there's all the information you want to be onto there. It's to July 31st.
Yep.
Okay, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sundays in rotation.
3 weekends, yep.
It's at Century College. It's on the west side of, basically the southwest side of Century College. That's an easy way to put it. They have their own stage area and everything. And I can see they're sort of rotating this. Certain days, they have different days. You know, like a Friday, they have the Learned Lady, then the Midsummer Night's Dream, and then the Tempest. Tell me about the Tempest. What's it about?
Who
Whoever
go?
wants to do it.
I'm
Who's
not
up?
in that one, so I'm
All
going
right.
to tag out.
The Tempest. So
Shakespeare play?
there's a
Yes.
there's a Shakespeare play. That's a good place to start, I think. There's a Tempest. So basically, what happens is the Duke of Milan
Okay.
has been stranded on an island with her daughter. She was set out on a boat by her brother in Milan and basically left out to die at sea, but instead she crash landed on this island. Conveniently, 14 years later, I believe, her brother and the king of Naples are passing by, and she's also, or he.
Rescued.
We have a she in our production, but sometimes it's written as
Sorry.
Prospero.
About 3 minutes, if you could.
Anyways, he casts a tempest,
Yeah.
crashes the boat on shore, and then basically a bunch of shenanigans, as it were, happen on this island as these royals meet with Caliban, who I play, which is they kind of do a clowning thing, and it's fun, and I don't really know. Bree, you got something to help me out
Yeah,
here?
so it's
So
kind
Tempest, the name of the ship, then?
Yeah, no, Tempest.
Tempest
is
is
it-
a storm, a big storm.
Yeah,
the
so he
storm.
causes
Okay,
the
that's
tempest
about a storm.
to crash it on the island.
And does it have a good ending, or are they still
Happy ending.
happy?
ending.
That's good.
Happy
That's-
ending, yeah.
Now another
That
play
one-
it has a happy ending, and we'll save the last for least. But the happiest, to me, the happiest play that Shakespeare's ever done, it's my favorite of it, is A Midsummer Night's Dream. And Tim, you want to tell us about that?
Sure. I'm not in that show.
Oh,
but,
okay. Well, maybe I should switch to Brenna. Then you're in the
Oh
show,
yeah,
right?
it's a
stage-
story. Well, I'm stage managing it.
Yeah,
It's a story. There's several different groups that are in it. There's the lovers. There's the royals. The fairies, which is what Aaron is playing, and then the mechanicals, who are kind of like the clowns. And they all kind of go off into the forest to pursue this dream of some sort that they have, or goal that they want to reach.
And the goal is, the dream is what? The goal is?
Well, for the lovers, one of the sets is to go off and get married
Yep.
against her father's will, and they run into the other set of lovers out there, and Aaron comes in and messes it all up.
Well, why don't you take off from there?
Sure. So that's kind of the lover's plot is, they're there to run away and be in love. And I kind of mess with those plans accidentally and intentionally, both. Meanwhile, there's these fairies who live in the forest, and the king and queen of the fairies are feuding. And that's putting the entire forest of fairies in unrest. So there's a lover's quarrel there as well. The mechanicals are these big, broad comedic actors who are set or requested to put on a play for a wedding that's happening in the court. And so they've got, the comedy comes from their acting and
Yeah.
their play that they're putting on. Puck turns one of them into a donkey.
And who you're?
I'm playing Puck,
Okay.
so the fairy who does all of the shenanigans.
Mean fairy, or sort of rambunctious, or
Knavish.
let's say,
Yeah.
and they're sort of practical kind of
Yep.
a fairy. Okay. Yep.
So there's that, and then there's the royals at court who are just trying to keep law and order and peace and do things the right way, in the old way, in the traditional way, but are also in their own right trying to develop relationships, love,
Right.
Happiness, things like that.
Sure.
And then Puck's kind of in the middle of it all,
Yep.
twisting things, pushing things off in other
Yeah,
directions,
try
trying
fool around
to
with that.
redo new combinations of
Yeah,
people.
Yep.
But yeah, it's these 4 separate plot lines that all kind of intertwine throughout the show, and hilarity ensues, craziness ensues. Like I said, we're setting this in the 1920s, so there's kind of a flapper element to it too, a kind of
Oh,
rebellious
the
teen,
dresses and
you know.
everything. Yeah, sure.
Yep. And it actually lends itself really well to that time period, but everything gets set back right in order. Everybody ends up with who they should end up. Puck sets everything right again, but it's a very light-hearted, fun, broad comedy.
Now, there's 4 characters in the love relationships, right? And
Yes.
who are they?
Hermia and Helena are 2 best friends, and then there's Lysander and Demetrius, who are not best friends.
But may at one point have been.
You're Demetrius, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But eventually, it eventually works out at the end.
Right.
does.
That they all get together the way they want to.
Yep. There's a part in this in the show where Puck accidentally screws up and miscouples the couples.
So your original plan to mess up got messed up awry, right?
Yep. So
That's funny, yeah.
and they end up the men both end up falling in love with Helena, who feels like she's not worthy of love, and so she's super confused and feels like she's getting a trick played on her, and meanwhile Hermia is left out in the dust, and and then I set things right again and get everybody back with their proper
Yep.
love interest.
Oh, cool. Sorry to me. For some reason, I like Lysander better. That's the way.
Hey, you know, Demetrius.
So does Hermia.
Demetrius is kind of mean.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe that's
although
why.
I like to say that, like, I
Okay.
play him kind of nice. So.
We got about 2-3 minutes to go, and I always say this at the end. This is always fun to do this. These are all. This is not your first play, I take it, right?
No.
No. These are all experienced actors, and all these actors and stage manager. She does a stage other play, and I'm going to ask a question. Why do you like doing these plays this year? You're doing The Tempest and Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah, and Learned Ladies.
Oh, you know all of them. What is it about you like these that attracts you to it?
Well, I actually this is my rookie season. I met Erin doing a show at Lakeshore Players, and
Okay.
she convinced me to come
Well,
out.
Lakeshore
And
too.
I love it just because of the broadness, the kind of festival atmosphere.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Easy
yeah,
atmosphere.
yeah, it's just
They're all
it's-
fun plays.
It's just such a fun company to work with, and just
Yeah.
like it's such a fun, physical, broad, fun thing.
Relaxed atmosphere and everything. That's really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I think I come back. I mean, I certainly come back to do more shows because I love to act and I love the experience of outdoor theater. It's such a different challenge than being inside.
okay.
So there's that draw to it too. But primarily the reason why I'm out there is because it's a great way to spend your summer. I spend my summer with really wonderful, talented, but funny, great
Yeah.
human beings, and it forces me to be outside, which I never would be otherwise. I'm not outdoorsy. And it allows me to have some fun in a very casual, relaxed environment, and I think we allow that for our audience as well.
Stu told me they're always relaxed. The
Yep.
cast gets through there very well.
Yep. And,
And which is your favorite of the 3?
Oh, goodness.
Don't have one, huh?
I think Midsummer probably is a little bit more fun, but I think my character is ridiculous in Learned Ladies as
Your
well.
favorite?
Oh boy, I haven't done Midsummer for so long, so I'm really liking it right now. Just because
I got 2. She said he did.
so.
2 so far. Let's see if I can get a win on this one. Okay. What's your favorite?
My favorite. I'm gonna go with The Tempest.
I knew a little tension here. So.
It's dangerous.
No. So what do you like
my
about
dad-
this? We got
my
about
dad-
20,
my
30
dad's
seconds to
doing
go
it.
quickly.
It's a good show. I
Brand-
like it.
Just-
I just love the story, and it's magical, like Midsummer.
And you
but
all
we
love
don't
Shakespeare.
get to do it a lot. So
I take it
it's
you all love Shakespeare and both Bonaire as great playwrights, right? Tim, you're up. We got about.
I got to go with Midsummer.
Hey, I won! Yeah! Ah!
Yeah,
Audience
Give me
will
an
love it.
ace.
We love
We got
seeing it.
3 and 1. Yeah. Okay. So, no. What do you like all these plays? Why do you like Shakespeare? What? It's just the great.
Shakespeare as an actor is, I think, just completely different than most.
As a
anything
playwright,
we do.
quickly.
Oh, as a playwright, his language, the words
Great.
that he uses.
That's it,
as
the
an
language.
actor. Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much for watching. We're replaying this. Thank you. All right.